Imagine claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. You tell the world that you're the sole inventor of the world's most revolutionary financial technology. You file lawsuits left and right against people who call you a fraud. And when you lose, you don't just take the L. You become totally unhinged. You sue everyone in sight, you call Vitalik a soy boy beta, and you declare that you would destroy Bitcoin Core. Like I said, totally unhinged. And after years of legal battles, the evidence starts stacking up against you. Until the courts finally have enough and they say, nah bro, you're not the one. This is the story of Craig Wright. Quite possibly the most controversial figure in all of crypto. He spent all his years trying to convince the entire world that he was Satoshi. Yet, despite his numerous illegal battles, a trail of forged documents, and downright bizarre antics, he's never been able to prove it. But how did we get here? Who exactly is this bozo Craig Wright? And why does he keep doubling down on a claim that nobody, not a soul in crypto believes? Let's explore. Craig Wright wasn't always a crypto bozo. You know what? I'll call him a crypto villain because he is the most villainous person I think we have in crypto. It's like that saying, I hate a liar more than I hate a thief. A thief is after your salary. A liar is after your reality. Craig Wright is after your reality. Born in Australia, he was a cybersecurity expert and an academic with degrees in information security. Before Bitcoin, he worked in IT for some major corporations, and he even helped build online gambling platforms. His name first popped up in 2015 when Wired and Gizmodo both published stories that hinted that he could be the real Satoshi Nakamoto. Leaked emails, blog posts, and documents seemed to suggest that he was behind Coin's creation. But there was just one problem. Nothing actually proved it. Yet, as we'd come to know Craig, he doubled down and went full retard. You never go full retard. He claimed he had all this evidence to prove that he was Coin's creator. The crypto space, of course, was skeptical as always, but he did find some early supporters, like billionaire Calvin Ayre, who built up his massive fortune with his many gambling ventures. He backed Craig's legal battles and continued to promote his claim. Then, in 2016, Craig tried to pull off the ultimate proof by signing a message with one of Satoshi's original private keys. Guess what? He failed. Womp womp. Then there are the emails that were leaked by Wired and Gizmodo. In Craig's own emails, he had messages where he practiced lying about being Satoshi. He literally wrote drafts that said, we need to make this look more convincing, and how do we fabricate the evidence? Imagine getting caught rehearsing your scam and then still doubling down on it. Or how about that time that he actually filed a copyright claim on the Bitcoin white paper so that he could attempt to legally own the document? Of course, the entire crypto community laughed at how ridiculous this clown was, and rightfully so. And it was later ruled, obviously, that his claim had absolutely no merit whatsoever. But let's think about that. For a moment, Craig Wright actually believed that he had a chance to claim legal ownership over Bitcoin. Wild. By the way, Craig's attempt at taking ownership doesn't stop at Bitcoin. He really did tell a court that he invented the internet. I'm not even kidding. Other things he's claimed to invent were e-commerce, online banking, and cloud computing. Really, he tried to take credit for cloud computing and the internet. I don't know if it's a mental illness, but this guy really did all these things. So when Craig Wright tried to prove that he was Satoshi, he presented a PGP key he claimed was created by Satoshi himself. In other words, he told the world that he would prove cryptographically that he was indeed Satoshi. He held a live press event where he said he'd use one of Satoshi's private keys, and then he botched it. What happened was, instead of using the actual keys, he faked a cryptographic signature using publicly available data. So this is where the tiny problem emerged and blew up in his face. It was backdated. The key was generated in 2009, but it somehow referenced a cryptographic algorithm that didn't exist yet. This is like trying to claim ownership of a book that was written in the 1800s by showing that you signed it with your iPad. Folks smarter than him, which is pretty much everyone, quickly caught on and called him out for it. It was all a bluff. Even Vitalik, the lanky founder of Ethereum, called him out saying Craig Wright is a fraud. And that became the crypto community's consensus as well. So what does a guy do when he finally gets caught in his lies so publicly? He admits it and moves on, right? He goes quietly into the good night. Not Craig, though, because Craig Wright is not your average guy. Not knowing when he lost the battle, he chose another reasonable approach he thought might bring him much success. By that I mean he sued everyone who called him a fraud. So he sued Bitcoin developers, claiming they needed to give him access to billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. He sued podcaster Peter McCormack, demanding damages for defamation. And of course he lost. He even sued HODLNOT, a crypto influencer who called him a scammer. He lost again. But every time he lost a case, he would file more and more lawsuits, as if he could sue his way to convincing the world that he was Satoshi. Since everyone in crypto rejected his totally believable claims, that's when Craig decided he would create his own version of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. Here's the concept. It's a true version of Bitcoin, as in one that followed his vision. But the reality was that Bitcoin SV was a pump and dump glory hole fest. He even sued Coinbase and Kraken, trying to get them to recognize Bitcoin SV as the real and only Bitcoin. Most exchanges, including Binance and Kraken, delisted BSV, calling it a toxic asset with a toxic community. The price is nuked as devs rage quit, and even his most loyal supporters started ghosting him like they owed him money. At this point, Craig wasn't just fighting for recognition. He was fighting for Bitcoin itself. And by fighting, I mean suing anyone who looked at him funny, including the family of his friend who died. Craig's most insane lawsuit involved the Kleiman estate. Craig claimed that he and his former friend, Dave Kleiman, mined Bitcoin together in the heydays. But then, this is the best part. When Kleiman died in 2013, Wright claimed he was entitled to the Bitcoin that Satoshi mined, worth billions of dollars. Was he right? Wrong. The court didn't buy it. The case dragged on for years, and eventually Wright lost a major part of the case in 2021 and was actually ordered to pay $100 million in damages. At this point, Wright's legal troubles weren't just annoying, they were becoming financially catastrophic and, might I add, hilarious. Fast forward to 2024, and the courts are still rejecting his claims. In February 2024, the UK High Court issued an official ruling stating that Craig Wright is definitely not Satoshi Nakamoto. Craig had sued the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, COPA, trying to scare them into accepting him as our Lord Satoshi. But the court's ruling was clear. Craig lied, he forged documents, and he is most definitely not the creator of Bitcoin. Today, no one in crypto takes him seriously anymore, except for a few diehard supporters. Why though? We might attribute it to mental illness. And of course, there's his billionaire backer, Calvin Ayre. So what's next for Craig Wright? More lawsuits? More embarrassing losses? Maybe he'll start a new grift? Who knows? One thing is for sure though. History will not remember Craig Wright as the creator of Bitcoin, ever. But it will remember him as the bozo who spent millions trying to prove that he was someone he could never be. And he failed repeatedly and hilariously. If you're into crypto stories and scandals like this one, hit like and subscribe to the channel. I'm your host, Valery Yoshi, and I'll catch you in the next one. In the meantime, you can check out the episode on Michael Saylor. You've been watching DJ Reports. Ciao.